Snow fell gently outside Evergreen Calf as Harper Williams sat alone at a corner table. 29 years old, with blonde hair and the crumbling smiles. She wore a burgundy sweater, dressed Christmas. Earrings hopeful, effortol, wasted. Her date had lasted 12 minutes. 12 minutes of him looking at his phone, making excuses, then leaving. This isn't going to work. You seem nice, but I'm just not feeling it. Now, Harper sat with cold coffee, trying not to cry on Christmas Eve. The cafe was full of couples, families, laughter. She felt invisible. A small voice interrupted her thoughts. Excuse me, Harper. Looked up. Little girl stood beside her table, maybe 5 years old, with dark braids. She wore a green velvet dress, white tights, patent leather shoes. Hi, sweetie. Are you sad? Harper felt tears a little bit. Why, sometimes grown-ups get sad even on Christmas. The little girl nodded seriously. My daddy gets sad too on Christmas. Because mommy's not here anymore. She went to heaven 2 years ago. Harper's heart broke. I'm so sorry. It's okay, the girl said. Daddy says mommy watches us from the stars. She climbed into the empty chair. I'm Zoe. What's your name? Harper. That's pretty like a harp. Daddy plays music, does he? Yes. Zoe said. Piano? But he doesn't play much anymore since mommy left. He says it makes him too sad. They talked for 10 minutes about Christmas, about Santa, about Zoe's school. Then Zoe asked very seriously, Harper, can you be my new mom? Harper froze. Sweetie, I don't have a mom, Zoe explained. She died and daddy is so sad and lonely, and you're sad and lonely too. So maybe we can be together and not be sad anymore. Harper didn't know what to say. A man appeared, late 30s, with dark hair. He wore jeans and a gray sweater, panic in his eyes. Zoe, there you are. I told you to stay at our table. But daddy, Zoe said, I found us a new mommy. The man went pale. Zoe, no, you can't. We talked about this. He looked at Harper. I'm so sorry she's been doing this since he couldn't finish. It's okay, Harper said gently. She's sweet. The man studied Harper, the empty chair, the tissue in her hand, the defeated posture. Where you stood up. Harper felt her face burn, sort of. He left on Christmas Eve. What kind of person does that? The kind who realized, I'm not what he wanted. The man's expression softened. I'm Ian Foster. Harper Williams. Ian looked at his daughter, who was watching them with enormous, hopeful eyes. Would you like to join us for dinner? You shouldn't be alone on Christmas Eve. I can't impose. You're not, Ian said. Zoe clearly has decided you're important. And when she decides, there's no changing her mind. At their table, by the window with a view of falling snow, they ordered dinner. Zoe has been asking Santa, Ian explained, for a new mom all year. I've tried to explain that's not how it works, but she doesn't understand. I taught wilds can't just be together. Kids make it sound simple. Harper said it should be simple. Zoe announced, Daddy is lonely. You're lonely. We have an extra room. You can live with us. Problem solved. Ian looked mortified. Zoe, that's not, we can't just. But Harper really laughed for the first time all night. I wish it were that easy over dinner. Ian explained. He was a music teacher. A private school. His wife had died suddenly. Aneurysm left him with a 3-year-old and a shattered life. I stopped performing, stopped composing, just teach. Now it's safer, less feeling. Harper understood. I'm a children's librarian, she said. I tell stories, read books, create programs, but I go home alone every night to an empty apartment. Everyone says I'm too quiet, it's too bookish. That's why I'm single. That's not a flaw, Ian said. That's who you are. Tell that to my last 5 dates. After dinner, Ian walked Harper to her car. Zoe between them, holding both their hands. Thank you for tonight, Harper said. You saved Christmas. Zoe saved it, Ian corrected. She's the brave one. Can Harper come for Christmas? Zoe asked. We have extra cookies, sweetheart, Ian said. Harper probably has plans. Actually, Harper surprised herself. I don't. My family is across the country. I was going to be alone. Then please come, Ian said. We'd love to have you Christmas morning. Harper arrived with books for Zoe and uncertainty. But Zoe answered the door. You came, I told Daddy you would. They made breakfast together, opened presents. Zoe gave Harper a drawing of 3 people under a Christmas tree. That's our family now. Harper felt tears. It's beautiful. That evening, after Zoe went to bed, Ian and Harper talked. Can I tell you something? Ian said. Of course. I've been on 3 dates since my wife died. All disasters, all forced. All awful. Tonight with you was the first time I didn't want it to end. Harper felt her heart race. I haven't had a successful date in 2 years. Tonight's guy lasted 12 minutes. Before leaving, said I wasn't what he wanted. He's an idiot maybe. Harper said, but maybe this happened so I'd be alone, so Zoe could find me, so I could find you. They dated slowly, including Zoe and everything who appointed herself their love helper. Daddy, you should hold her hand, Harper. You should kiss him. That's what grown-ups do. 3 months later, Ian invited Harper to his school's spring concert. I'm performing for the first time in 2 years. Because of you. Harper sat in the audience. Sai beside her watched Ian play piano beautifully, emotionally live. He found them. You played, Harper said, tears streaming. You said you couldn't. I couldn't. Ian replied, until I had a reason. You're my reason. 6 months after that Christmas, Evan proposed. Not just to Harper but to both of them. Zoe, he said, kneeling in the living room. You asked Santa for a new mom. I told you it doesn't work that way, but you were right sometimes. It does. He turned to Harper. You were rejected on a blind date. On Christmas Eve, my daughter asked if you could be her new mom. Will you? Will you marry me? Be Zoe's mother. Be my partner. Make our family official. Yes. At their wedding, Zoe walked Harper down the aisle. She gave a speech last Christmas Eve. Zoe said, I saw Harper at the cafe. She was sad because a mean man left. I asked her, can you be my new mom? The little girl smiled. Daddy said, Zoe, you can't just ask people that, but I did. And she said yes. So sometimes you can ask. Harper stood crying last Christmas Eve. She said, I was rejected. 12-minute date. He looked at his phone, made excuses, left. I felt worthless. She looked at her family then. A 5-year-old asked me the most important question anyone's ever asked. Can you be my new mom? I said yes, not knowing what it would mean. But it meant everything. Ian spoke when Zoe asked Harper to be her new mom. My first thought was horror. You can't ask strangers that. But then I looked at Harper and saw what Zoe saw. His voice broke. Someone kind, someone lonely, someone who needed us as much as we needed her. Zoe was right. Sometimes you can just ask, and sometimes the answer changes everything. Years later, when people asked how they met, Ian would smile and say, my daughter asked her to be her mom. Harper would add, on our first meeting. Best question ever. And Zoe, now 15, would say, I saw Harper was sad. We were sad, so I asked if we could be together. Adults make things complicated, but really, love is simple. You just ask, and if they say yes, you become a family. If this story touched your heart, please like and share it with someone who believes in children's wisdom and asking for what you need. Subscribe for more stories about unexpected families and Christmas miracles. Comment and tell us about a time when a direct question changed your life. Your story might give someone courage to ask today.